Now for our next transaction, May 31st, 2017. The following credit card statement arrives for the American Travel Card, which is one of our credit cards. It's actually our only credit card. Reconcile the statement and then pay it using check number 14 from the cash operating account. Note, owner Kristen Davis notifies you to expect the monthly electric bill to now appear as an automatic deduction on the credit card statement. So we won't know about the electric bill and the amount until the credit card statement arrives. When it arrives, we'll find that it's not in our accounting record, so we will need to enter it. So I'm going to switch to QuickBooks now. And I'm going to open up my home page, company home page. I'm going to maximize my window. And then to reconcile account, you can always go up to banking, reconcile, but I like to use the home page, so I'm going to click on reconcile over here. And now we need to make sure that we're reconciling the correct account. We are going to be reconciling the credit card, so we need to change the account to the American Travel Card. Notice over here it tells you the type of the account. It's a credit card. Statement date. This often defaults to today's date, so we need to change this to the statement date of 05/31/2017. Tab to the ending balance. Ending balance is 1159.49. And then it's asking for a finance charge if we have one. And if you look down here, there is no finance charge. So what that means is that the company must be paying off their credit card each month so that they don't pay any fees, which is nice. And so since I'm going to leave this as a 0, this date is not used. So we do not have to worry about this date or the account since there is not a number here. So now I'm going to click on continue. And now remember, the process for a reconciliation is you start at the top of the statement and just work your way down, checking off each transaction if they appear in our records. But if there's a transaction that does not appear in our records, we need to enter it into our records. So the first one we have is Atlantis business travel May 1st for $600. So we're going to look up here and we have a May 1st $600 Atlantis business travel. So I'm going to single click this line to check it off. Notice I have a check off there. And then it's a good idea to check this off as you go. Next, we've got a $100 Williams office supply on May 9th. It's right here, May 9th, $100, Williams office supply. Single click that to check it off. Next, we've got a Minneapolis Electric and Gas Company. A charge for $109.49. And notice it's not on here. So why is it not on here? Because I'm going to go back to the instructions. The owner notified you to expect the monthly electric bill, and that's Minneapolis Electric, to now appear as an automatic deduction. So we don't know what the electric bill is until the statement arrives, or if we went to the credit card statement and logged in and entered it then. But as you could see in our QuickBooks, let me switch back to QuickBooks. It's not in QuickBooks, so we need to enter it into QuickBooks. So how do I enter it into QuickBooks? The most convenient way is to right-click anywhere on this grid. So right-click and go down to Use Register. So notice the name of the register is up here, the American Travel Card. So now I can just enter this Minneapolis Electric and Gas Company transaction into the register. So what was the date? Looks like it's May 16th, so 05/16/17. Tab to the reference. There is no reference, so I can leave that blank. Tab to the payee field. Who are we paying? Or who is the charge from? Minneapolis Electric and Gas. Tab to the charge field. It's a 109.49. Charge down to the account. Let's see if they have electricity. Do they have electricity? I don't see it. It must be utilities. So here we have a utilities, and notice there is no electric expense, so we're going to use utilities. Click record, and notice it puts it in there in chronological order. Here's our transaction, Minneapolis Electric and Gas. So now I can go back to the Reconcile window by clicking over here, single click, And then I need to, this is critical, I need to find that transaction 109.49 and then check it off by single clicking on this line. So now we got 3 things checked off. Let's go down one more. We got Landis business travel, $350 right there. And now make sure you do not check off this one that happened at the end of the month. This Williams office supply charge for $73, it's not on our credit card statement, so do not check it off. Why is it not on our credit card statement? It must not have gotten recorded in time by the credit card company to appear on the statement, which is fine. It'll appear on the next statement. And then, since we're done checking everything off here, and notice there is no interest charged, we can look at the difference. So now that this says, the difference says 0, and because we've checked off everything down here and made sure it's in the QuickBooks, we can click Reconcile Now. And now, remember, let me switch back to the instructions. It says, and then pay it. So we need to, not only are we going to reconcile this credit card statement, we're going to pay it with check 14. So notice that when I switch back to QuickBooks, this make a payment box pops up. So it's assuming, QuickBooks is assuming that you want to make the payment now. If you do not want to make the payment now, you could enter a bill for payment later. But we do want to pay it now. So we're going to leave it here for write a check for payment now. And notice it says that the outstanding balance on this account is $1159.49, which matches our statement. To pay all or a portion of this, select the payment type and click OK. So we select the payment type. It says to leave the balance in the reconcile window, click cancel. But we do want to pay it, so we're going to click OK. And then it takes us to, well, we don't want to do the reconciliation report. We can always pull that up later, so I'm going to choose close. And then this is critical. The instructions said to pay from cash operating. So let me go back to the instructions. Pay it with check 14 from cash operating. So let me switch back to QuickBooks. So this is cash operating. That's the correct one. I'm going to enter check 14. And when are we paying this? We're going to pay this. Again, let me switch back to the instructions. May 31st, 2017. So this date is May 31st, 2017. And who are we paying? Now notice this credit card statement is the American Travel Card. So that is who we are paying, American Travel Card. So let me switch back to QuickBooks. And in the pay to the order of, we're going to type American Travel. And that pops up. The amount, this amount should match the statement. We do want to pay the full amount. Otherwise, we'd end up paying interest. You don't want to do that. And then notice it pre-fills this down here for us. So QuickBooks was smart enough to know that we're paying off the American Travel Card. So everything looks good. Check 14, May 31st. Amount is correct. American Travel Card. Everything looks good. So I'm going to click Save and Close. And now let's run the journal report for May 31st to see what's going on behind the scenes as far as debits and credits go. I only want to see that transaction, so let's do all the transactions for May 31st. 053117 tab. So we got 2 transactions that happened there. And here's our check. So on May 31st, we wrote a check. And notice the cash operating is going down by $1159.49, which matches the statement balance. And it is debiting our credit card. Remember, this is a liability. So if you're debiting a liability, you're making the liability go down, which makes sense. The debt goes down, and then our cash goes away. And that's how you perform a credit card reconciliation and pay it at the same time.